Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
And so does fighting pests. Terminex will protect your home and business from termites, roaches, mice, and even mosquitoes. Call the local team at Terminex. They will draw a winning game plan to tackle your pests. Terminex is a proud supporter of Nickel Athletics.
Go, Kurt! You just need to grab a quick bite. This is the perfect place for you. Small sliders, customer service.
Welcome, baby. Welcome to Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon, Big Fave Favorite, and we're live here at the Small Slider Studio, right here on the West Bank Expressway. But hey, check this out. The weather was a little. We didn't know if it was going to be rocky or what the deal with the weather was going to be. But what we wanted to do was come to the Small Slider Studio. But if y'all are on y'all way home right now and y'all are looking to get something to eat, make sure y'all make y'all way over to Small Slider. 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero. We will definitely encourage everybody to go over there, and we appreciate them for their sponsorship. We have one heck of a show today. We got a couple of call-in guests, and you guys can call in if y'all have any questions. We're going to, of course, recap this big win by the New Orleans Saints. Y'all can call us at 800-998-1003, and thank y'all so much for tuning in to Inside the Trenches, baby. But big win by the New Orleans Saints. Man, so many takeaways that we're going to get into. I know a lot of folks want to hear me talk about that LSU game against Nicholls State. Boy, that was something else, wasn't it? So we're for sure going to get into that. In our next segment, we'll be joined by my main man, Ross, from Locked On Saints. Ross is going to come on and talk a little bit about the big winner versus Carolina, and he's going to, basically answer a couple of questions for us. Of course, we're going to dive into LSU's matchup this past weekend against Nicholls State, and talk about that in our next segment. After that, we'll also be joined by LSU great wide receiver, also a player development guy at LSU right now, my main man Eddie Kenderson, the third. Eddie played all over the NFL, did some great things for LSU in his time there. We're going to talk about the current state of the Tigers, and then we're going to throw it back on this Monday, baby. We're going to talk about his years at LSU, so on and so forth. So it's been a really great week, right? In our hour two, we're going to have my main man, Coach John Johnson from Gretna, come on and talk about their offense and how things are going with them. They had a big win against my old school, against Archbishop Shaw, but it's not all bad with Shaw, right? I think that team's going to do good this year. But Gretna is really that good. I mean, they're off the chain, so we're going to have him in hour two as well. But shouts out to Nicholls State. I know you guys just finished tuning into Coach Rebo's show, baby, and so much to look at with that game. And listen, everybody, y'all be safe out there, right? Because we're expecting this to be anywhere. Like I said, I'm no meteorologist. Definitely checking with your local listings, but we're expecting some heavy hurricane weather here on Wednesday and Thursday. So we want to for sure be safe with that. If you're going to hunker down, definitely check with your local weather person or whomever to find out what's the best plan to do. Tune into that. So, hey, let's jump straight into it. The NFL weekend jumped off pretty good. A lot of surprises. I mean, here's my whole thing, right? One thing that didn't surprise me was Caleb Williams. I didn't expect Caleb Williams to come out and be this just go out there and just perform to the – I didn't even expect him to do what Jaden did, basically. I thought Jaden came out the way Caleb should have came out if you're the number one pick but you do have to give your props to the Tennessee Titans defense. I saw that boy, like Baldy called him, T-Pain, to Vondre Sweat from Texas. Went out there, he did an excellent job in that game, just pulverized that offensive line for Chicago. But Chicago did pull off the win, which, again, is, despite what I'm saying, that's the most important thing to come off with the win, and that they did on the NFL open weekend. A couple of games, going on tonight. Well, one game going on tonight we're going to talk about in particular. San Francisco take on the Jets. I still got one of my fantasy leagues rolling. Well, two of them really. I have the kicker I have Moody from San Francisco. I don't know what that's going to really do for me. And I also have the Jets. I have the powerful running back Hall. So that will be, something for sure to check out and see how things roll with this game tonight. Now, a couple takeaways. San Francisco is a team that just went to the Super Bowl. You still have Christian McCaffrey. I know that they were listing him as questionable early, but he's more than likely going to play. But the big thing out of this game tonight is Aaron Rodgers, right? Which Aaron Rodgers are we going to get? Are we going to get that Aaron Rodgers that we are used to seeing on his MVP year? Even if we get the Aaron Rodgers, and a lot of folks that get into broadcasting, they don't believe that he's going to be able to be that Aaron Rodgers that we're used to seeing at Green Bay. Will we get that guy? That MVP year that they drafted Kevin Love. So that's going to be something for sure to check out for tonight's game. Just looking back at this weekend, a few games really stuck out in week one. I would definitely have to, of course we're going to talk about the Saints a little later. We talked about Chicago, but the Falcons, right? Everybody was talking about how this Atlanta team was about to come out there and just be a force to reckon with, and the Steelers beat them, right? Big time game for them. The Ravens, of course, that opened off the NFL weekend. The Ravens lost to Kansas City, which was a tight game. Like, it wasn't a game where, a lot of folks were saying, man, Lamar choked once again in a needed situation, but at the very end of the day, you do have to look at it from the perspective of, and I thought my man Rafael Esparza made a good point when he came on with Mario earlier, him and Casey. He said this was almost like preseason week 4. A lot of these players, they didn't play, right? They didn't play in the preseason. They came out fresh. So, unfortunately, it doesn't really work that way. You want to be able to come with that funk right away. And some teams did, of course, we did here in New Orleans, teams like Dallas did, which we're going to take on them. Can't wait to talk about that. But it's just, in my opinion, so much to look forward to this upcoming football season. I thought we did see a fair share of surprises with this weekend. A couple of games. Hey, Buffalo and Arizona. A lot of folks thought that game might have been a little further away than what it was. Maybe Buffalo 34 and Arizona 12 or something like that. But Kyler Murray and that crew, they stuck in it. Of course, James Cook, he had 71 yards on the ground. And check this out. And one of the other receiving leaders, as we told y'all before, Keon Coleman. We knew that he was going to definitely bring it this football season. So I was excited about his performance as well, being a local guy. One of the biggest surprises, and I know a lot of folks were like, man, what's going on? And that is with the Cincinnati Bengals, right, versus New England. New England pulls off this win, folks, 16-10. Big time win. Joe Burrow, 164 yards through the air. Jamar Chase, he had 62 yards. But, you do have to tilt your hat to this New England team. Nobody really expected them under new coach Gerard Mayo. Shouts out to my old teammate. We were teammates at New England, my short stint there. But he's someone that's been under coach's tutelage for a while now, and it's shown and proved that he's handling his business. If y'all just tuning in, baby, y'all listening to Inside the Trenches, it's your host, Marlon Big Favorite. I'm just sitting here. I'm by myself, man. My co-hosts are tied up, getting ready for the weather preparations. So shouts out to my man Joe CL. He's on the movie sets. He's going to be joining us here, hopefully here soon. But man, I'm excited about the direction the season is going and the way that these games are shaping up. And as I mentioned, a couple games were exciting and so much to look at. One of the more controversial games this past weekend was in Brazil, right? You come up with the Jordan Love injuries. Now he's going to miss a big chunk of the season. The Eagles did dominate on the defensive front. I thought Jalen Carter balled out in that game. Saquon Barkley, 3 touchdowns, right? 109 yards on the ground. Boy, them Giants fans were mad, right? The Giants, the way they handled his contract the year before, and he had to show and prove at a new location, so that worked out exceptionally well for him. But the Eagles did win that game. Minnesota, a lot of folks thought that Sam Darnold was going to stink it up, but apparently didn't. They won 28-6. They played against the Giants, right? So a lot of folks are like, "Well, man, it's the Giants." This team is whatever, and they did the same thing with New Orleans. New Orleans beat Carolina. Oh, they're one of the worst teams, but you have to give props where props are due. Darsal, their first round draft pick, he was out there handling his business as well. Keeping a clean pocket for my main man Sam Darnold, who I didn't think he was going to be able to perform the way he did, but he put up 200 yards, had 2 touchdowns. Shouts out to the LSU Tigers, baby. Malik Neighbors did lose his first NFL game, but 5 receptions for 66 yards, and that production is off the chain. But look, y'all don't go anywhere. Joining me a little later, we will be joined by another voice. I have my main man, Ross Jackson. He's going to come on. We're going to get into this Saints game, right? I want to save the Saints segment, Saints Talk with Ross. He follows the team a lot. I want to see how surprised Ross was with this performance. Did he think the Saints came out, as a wrecking ball? And in my opinion, if you look at the grand scheme of things, man, this team, I don't care. It still was a divisional win, right? You have to give props where props is done there. They did get a divisional win out of the way. And in addition to that, you had a team that, how can I explain this? You had a team that knew that they had a lot to prove for their coach too, right? You got to factor that in. Coach Allen had so much, that folks were saying, well, it's inside the trenches. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be joined by my main man, Ross Jackson of Locked On Saints. It's inside the trenches on ESPN New Orleans, baby.
Set yourself up. It's important to cover your bases well before the days of your event. Joe Septic Contractors can supply 1810, 3 and 2 stall restrooms, air-conditioned trailers.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Wright, and Inside the Trenches podcast is back, baby. We back. Y'all make sure y'all check us out for excellent season, and you can check us out on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Y'all make sure y'all follow me at BigFave504. We back at it, baby. We in them trenches. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple, on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders, the Customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my small sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
Of Locked On Saints, and we're gonna dive into that Saints matchup. Well, let me check the line real quick to see if Ross is on. Is Ross connected? Well, it doesn't look like we got Ross yet, but we should have him momentarily. We got Tarek's about to go ahead and call Jerry to see what Ross is. But in the meantime and in between time, let's get into the Saints matchup and how this game went down. Again, a much-needed win. This was a team that really went through it last. This was a team that really went through it last season. Didn't have an identity offensively, and just a team that if you look back at everything, every opposition that this team has went through in regards to trying to calculate wins since the departure of Coach Sean Payton and Drew Brees in that entire era, right? It was almost like for a very long time the New Orleans Saints, were chasing the ghost of Coach Sean Payton. Again, if y'all want to chime in on this, hit us up at 800-998-1003. Give us a call, and hey, this is Reaction Monday. Give us your feedback. I know I've been listening to our shows throughout the day. We have, of course, Mario Horaz on and all those guys calling in on his show, him and Casey, and everybody was just really giving realistic reactions. Now, the most frequently question I got asked all day, the most frequently asked question was, man, was Carolina that bad, or was New Orleans that good? Right? That was the number one question that was asked. And even Joel, I talked to Joel before we came on the show, and he was saying, man, Faith, I think it was a combination of both, right? I think it was a combination of the Saints being exceptionally well, right, but Carolina not being a good team. And it makes a lot of sense if you look at it from the breakdown perspective, because here's a Carolina team who has still a young quarterback. I mean, even though Bryce Young's won a national championship, has been in that spotlight for a very long time, he's still someone, in my opinion, that still have a lot of growing to go on a professional standpoint. They still have, he still has an offensive line to formulate around him, right? So on and so forth. I think we have Ross Jackson on the line. Ross?
Hey, bro, I can hear y'all. Y'all just really far away. Are y'all able to hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you good and well. Man, we want to welcome Ross Jackson on the show from Locked On Saints. So, Ross, man.
Glad to be here with you, man. Thanks for having me on, man.
Man, thanks so much for coming on the show. One of the questions that I was asked all day, right, and I want to get your feedback on it. You follow the team a lot, and you've seen them in their great days and their not-so-great days. Was Carolina that bad, or is this New Orleans Saints team really that good this year?
I would say I think there's potential for both. I think both can be true. I think that Carolina can be bad and New Orleans can also be good. I don't see, my whole sort of way that I look at this whole thing is that there are certain things that are going to be dictated by how bad a football team is. But no matter how good or bad a football team is that is your opponent, it doesn't impact your ability to call plays. Doesn't impact your ability to be able to execute. Doesn't impact your ability to be able to catch a football. Doesn't impact your ability to be able to run a system. So I focus a little bit more so on the things that the Saints do individually that they have control over. Did they run, plays with a lot more motion and a lot more play action? Yes. Were they going to be successful in running the outside zone run? Yes. These are all things that weren't necessarily a part of their game plan as much in 2023. So I think Carolina can be a team that has embraced its rebuild and has embraced its NFL life cycle, but it's also still an NFL team. And then at the same time, the New Orleans Saints can be a team that has found a way to improve from 2023 to 2024. So they've essentially established the concept up against the Carolina Panthers. Now they have to go through and then prove it up against the Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, and things like that. So by the time that we're all said and done with this season, we could be saying that both of those things are true, but as of right now, that shouldn't impact the outlook of where the New Orleans Saints are.
I have to agree with you. If y'all are just tuning in Inside the Trenches, you're listening to Ross Jackson from Locked On Saints podcast. Be sure to check Ross out on X at Ross Jackson Nola. Great content on the Saints. I'm telling them, this is my West Bank brother too, by the way. Hello, somebody. I told Ross
Yes, sir.
all the time, man, you my cheat code for the Saints, man. A lot of times, dealing with the pod and travel, I don't get a chance to catch up with the team as much, and Ross always updates us, so that's great. Ross, one big thing that stood out to me, and it didn't come from inside the trenches, but the production usually comes from that way. Just the mind of Coach Dennis Allen to know that, man, you know what? Let's send that corner blitz, man. Alontae Taylor, SEC cornerback, 3 big sacks by the defensive back. Alontae Taylor, man, that superstar moves, huh, man? Getting his D-line on, huh?
Yeah, it was funny. It was one of these. Yeah, the first thing I asked him when he came out for the press conference after the game was like, "So, are you interested in changing your position to defensive end?" And he said, "No, I think I've had enough position changes over the course of my time here," which is fair. Yeah, man, I just think that that's one of those big pieces that a guy like Alontae Taylor with his speed and with his tackling ability has the ability to take advantage of at this level and in this defense. We saw the Saints used to do this a ton with guys. I mean, you saw it with Roman Harper, right? I mean, they used to do this all the time with these guys. And then, you saw the way that they used C.J. Gardner-Johnson out of the slot as a pass rusher and everything as well. Like, they've been doing this for quite some time. But it's kind of taken a step back in recent years. They've tried to figure out what that slot position ends up looking like, and it feels like Alontae Taylor has been an excellent add there, has been able to contribute there. So I think it's a big part of his game. And one of the things that I talked about over the course of training camp with being with the team out in California is that he was easily one of the most improved players going from one camp into the other. Having changed positions last year, it was always going to be a little bit tough on him, but he's kind of embraced that. And he's somebody that came in and absolutely just embraced the role that he was given and then made the most of it, especially on this Sunday game where he became the first New Orleans Saints defensive back to ever have 3 sacks in a single game.
Yeah, that was big time, man. And just think about, even from the middle linebacker position, Demario Davis last season, I want to say he had 8 sacks. So just being creative. And you saw some good things on the defensive line. I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the D-line. And I think it was just the collectiveness of that front. Who stood out to you on the defensive line, and how do you think this group looks moving forward?
Yeah, it's probably low-hanging fruit. I mean, you got to talk about Chase Young, right? I mean, the dude just created consistent pressure the entire game. I believe he had 6 pressures in terms of, the way that, some analytics sites would look at it and things like that. Twice as much as the next leading guy over on the defensive side. So he was just consistent and constant in terms of his disruption. And that's exactly what the Saints wanted out of him. That's why they were okay with kind of braving that neck procedure and everything, getting him ready for the season, was because of the way they would be able to contribute there. And he's had an immediate impact on this New Orleans Saints defensive line and pass rush. I think the thing that's so exciting about the defensive line and where the Saints have made improvements along their front 7.
No doubt. Ross Jackson joining us right now. Ross, I know you've been working with Louisiana Sports.net. I was in the studio with Hunt. As soon as we got into the studio for the post-LSU game show.
The reason why we're going to be able to do that is the additional pressure you can get from Gay, and then, of course, your ability to be able to generate pressure with Chase Young as well. So I think both of those guys are going to contribute and add. The Saints have consistently, particularly over the course of the past 2 years, been one of the best teams when it comes to generating second-level pressure from their linebackers. You saw it with Demario Davis, who's hit his career high in each of the last 2 years. Now you add in an explosive piece like Willie Gay. You bolster up that defensive line. You have the opportunity to get 3 edge rushers all on the field at the same time. There's a lot of good things that this defense can do from a disguise and attack standpoint.
He's right. Ross Jackson joining us right here on Inside the Trenches. Ross, I was with Hunt Palmer this past weekend, and I know you guys were working with LouisianaSports.net, and he was like, the second we got in the studio, he had some Saints updates. He's like, man, Ross is ready. Got him ready to roll. I say, man, my boy getting it in. So that's cool, man. So that's been great. So how's that been going?
It's been great, man. Yeah, it's awesome to be able to be a part of a team, with LouisianaSports.net that just has like a really clear focus of serving the Louisiana sports lover and the Louisiana sports viewer. That's been a goal of mine for a long time, even after moved away from Louisiana, being able to come back to Louisiana and serve the community that raised me up my entire life. It's great to be able to find ways to contribute to that, contribute in a way that I know that people love and connect with. So being able to tell stories like today, I published a story about Alvin Kamara finding family and community here in New Orleans, and his desire to stay here, and the fact that he's playing despite the fact that they didn't get that contract extension done with him before week 1. He doesn't care. He's out there. He's playing, performing. He just had a heck of a game, his 50th career game of over 100 yards from scrimmage in his career. I mean, it's been awesome, and it's incredible to write those stories and everything, and be able to bring that to the people of the greatest city in the world, in my opinion, here in New Orleans, and of course across the Gulf Coast.
Hello, somebody. Now, Ross, before I let you go here, man, keys to victory. This is going to be a big game against Dallas. They did exceptionally well against Cleveland. We're going to that environment, so we're on the road. We have a young Fuaga. This is going to be his first time playing on the road for the Saints. By the way, I thought he did an exceptionally did an exceptional job in this past matchup. But real quickly here, what do you feel like are the keys to victory for the New Orleans Saints this weekend?
Yeah, I think you protect your quarterback, you disrupt theirs, you be opportunistic, and you just play by your DNA. I think that's the biggest thing that the New Orleans Saints haven't been able to do over the course of the past few years. They haven't felt like they had an identity, particularly over on the offensive side of the football. Sunday, up against Carolina, it felt like they might have struck gold in terms of what their identity is. Play to your identity. Don't worry about the matchup of who's in front of you or what they're going to be doing or anything like that. Play to what is true to you. Play the songs that you know and do what it is that you know that you can do, and be the team that you feel that you can be. And I think that's got to be the big thing for them. So they got to focus on themselves over on the offensive side, do what it is that they're wanting to do with that offense, disrupt their quarterback in the meanwhile while keeping theirs safe, and then be opportunistic. Take those shots. Be aggressive on the offensive side. Take the ball away. Be aggressive on the defensive side. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. And then on top of all that, as we always say with any football game, win in the trenches, run the football. That's going to be your easy. That's the root of a victory gumbo anywhere you are, right there.
See, Ross know about them trenches, baby. You know all about it.
I know about them trenches.
Yes, indeed. Well, man, thank you so much for coming on the show, brother. We got to get you on some more, get the updates from the Saints. It's great having you. Hey, he's Ross Jackson. Y'all be sure to follow him on X at Ross Jackson Nola. And he's Locked On Saints podcast, baby. You don't miss a beat on YouTube, man. Thanks, my brother.
Absolutely, brother. Thanks for having me, man. Take care. Stay safe. Talk to you soon.
That's it. That's right. That's right. Well, it's Inside the Trenches, baby, here on ESPN New Orleans. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back.
Golden Motors has the vehicles you need, whether it's a car, truck, SUV, or van. Golden Motors has it. If it's a commercial vehicle desired, we got it. Flatbed or service. Chevy together. Let's drive.
At Adams Dumpster Rentals, we always go that extra mile by offering 14-yard and 20-yard dumpsters to properly...
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite, and Inside the Trenches podcast is back, baby. We back. Y'all make sure y'all check us out for excellent season, and you can check us out on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Y'all make sure y'all follow me at BigFave504. We back at it, baby. We in them trenches. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Big Fave Favorite.
He talked about a few things. He made a couple of great points with about the Saints' matchup against Carolina. But I really wanted to know, going into the Dallas game, what were the keys to victory? That was my big thing, because I'm not saying, listen, this is a divisional opponent, period. So it doesn't really matter about the typical opinion of somebody saying, oh, they're just trash. I don't care how trash a team is. This is still a credible NFL team, period. You know, so I look at it from the perspective of the team came out there with a well put together game plan. That is true. This team also came out with not only a better execution plan on offense, but I thought Alvin Kamara played better. I did think Derek Carr, he didn't look like Matthew Stafford. Boy, I do put on the clinic the other night. Shouts out to class 09. Right? He's not Jared Goff. All right? But he's also not Mac Jones. And that showed yesterday, and that lets you know that coaching matters. Being able to get someone the right playbook, run the plays that really work for them, and not force systems. It's a happier looking offense. These guys are smiling now. They're smiling now. And that's why I thought Ross' perspective was important, because I know he's traveled with the team, so he's seen the growing pains for the last few years. You know, I go around the team a lot, but I'm kind of like y'all for the most part. I see it on the game film, and I can kind of go along, because I don't go to that many game practices. So I might switch that up a little bit, go a little more. But what I've seen so far is a team, so far, like from what I've seen in training camp to this first game, is a team that has improved in the areas needed. You come out the gate, you score 17 points in the first quarter. Totally different. Boom. Rashid out the gate. Elvin, boom. Right? Field goal. You come back second quarter, Foster Moreau. Wow. Boom. Pair of field goals. You win every quarter. That's what really mattered in this game. 800-998-1003 is Inside the Trenches. Feel free to call in. Let's chime on it. Look, this the late night show, baby. Let's chime into the overreaction Monday, however y'all want to call it, because the truth of the matter is the team that we're playing next week, not the Carolina Panthers. Far from it. I mean, you got a motivated quarterback who just got basically paid handsomely, right? You have a defensive end that's about to break the bank. I mean, it's about to be real. Like, okay, Dak Prescott is definitely the highest paid NFL player ever, right? So now that we got that established, CeeDee Lamb, he up there with Jets, right? So you do have a situation that is equivalent to what most people would say a nice playoff team. So next week is the real test. You know, got a couple of friends on this team with the Saints. So, and everybody who listen to, well, not, you know, the pregame, or if you check me out on Sports Hangover, if you've been a frequent listener, I appreciate you, to Inside the Trenches. You know that as a kid, ever since I was young, I've always been a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. Like, that's no secret. Everybody has their little team. You got some people that was Green Bay fans back in the day. Because of Barry Sanders, they really like the Lions. So it goes across the board. But, you know, naturally coming up, I've always been a Cowboys fan, and that's fine. Does it make me a difference one way or the other if one team losing? No, I want to see a good game. So that's why I had to ask Ross keys to victory. And the same thing I asked you, like, what do the Saints have to do to go out there and win? I thought what he said was nice. Good trenches play. I mean, the biggest test is going to be on the Saints offensive line, right? And it's a young group. It has its veterans in certain areas, but for the most part, it's a group that is really trying to come into find its identity, should I say. And I think now that you have, and this is Coach Kubiak's first game as an offensive coordinator, and I thought he did an exceptional job. I like how you had Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill in the backfield at the same time. I like how with the route running, you had your fair share of deep routes, but the checkdowns were on point, right? For the most part, the Saints did exceptionally well pass pro. Going into this game, it's still somewhat of a concern. Hey, Fuaga the real deal. but them 2 runs Alvin Kamara had, big boy is rolling, right? But then, again, you have your identity. That was Clint Kubiak. That was part of his decision, his staff to bring in him, right, to fit his system. You know, in previous years, you had to kind of fit the system that was there, and that's not always easy. It's really not always an easy task. But I do find it pretty cool that for the 6th year in a row, the Saints won their opener. I think that's something worth, giving an applause, right? It's something that's there. Not giving up too much. Like this offensive line was a group that we were worried about. Derek Carr got sacked one time. One time. I was worried, right? Now you don't have Brian Burns and, this Carolina defense isn't as potent as it has been in the past. But one team sack from a linebacker, Leota. I mean, one quarterback hit. That's it. So that means most of the time, Derek Carr was upright. No, this Carolina team isn't really that good, to be honest with you, but that doesn't matter. You have a win on the win column. What matters is where the Saints' attention and focus goes now, and that's to the Dallas Cowboys. 800-998-1003. It's Inside the Trenches. I'm your host, Marlon Favorite. We're talking Saints' matchup against Carolina. Big win, 47-10. The Saints dominated Carolina every quarter of the game. Defensively, they wreak havoc big time. I mean, just a bowling ball of plays being made by that group. Tyrann Mathieu causing a fumble. Lante Taylor, not only did he have 3 sacks, he also had 5 solo tackles, a pass deflection. Being effective on every set a record. You heard it? He set a record for sacks by a defensive back for the Saints across the board. My main man, Isaiah Fox, got trained Isaiah a little bit this past summer. Keep up with him. Got in later on in the game. Had a solo tackle for everybody was eating. Kool-Aid McKinstry coming right out of Alabama. We wanted to see what type of player he was going to be. Kool-Aid being effective. He had a solo tackle. He was in on 2 plays. Making the right off-season decisions in terms of your defense mattered. Bringing in a guy like Will Harris from Detroit just had a playoff run. Big interception. That's the things that I look forward to with this New Orleans Saints team. It really is. We'll be having my main man Eddie Henderson joining us here in the next segment to talk a little LSU. You know, I have to save LSU for hour number 2. And then after that, we'll be joined by John Johnson, offensive coordinator, passing game coordinator at Nicole. But, yeah, man, we deserve to celebrate this team win. You know, we're going to celebrate LSU win, too. You know, you definitely had a team. You had yourself a team in Nickel State that went fought LSU hard. Talk to Eddie about that. We're also going to go down memory lane. Let's talk about the days he played at LSU, some of those golden days. But, yeah, y'all feel free to tune in. Got a couple more segments here this hour. Shall we do it on a Monday, baby? I hope y'all having a safe ride home. When y'all get settled, feel free to call and talk to me. Let me know what y'all feel about the Saints victory Monday, baby. Got them Cowboys this week. Go out to Jerryland. Got PNC, Chop, all of them going to be out there. Say, Big Fat, man, come on out here, man. We want you to come host. Remember I talked to my man King. Go, man, we got to get y'all here in Dallas. But, man, I got to go to Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge, baby. Y'all be safe, too. I hope y'all all have plans out there for the hurricane. We all trying to figure it out. Most of us honking it down. We got a radio show to run here. But y'all definitely be safe with that. Yeah, big Saints win, man. Got to figure out a way, in my opinion, to get Chris Olave involved a little more. I like the fact that we found a way to get Foster Monroe involved, New Orleanian. Juwan Johnson coming back healthy, making plays. Big win by the Saints, man. We'll look forward to that. Y'all be sure to hit me up on X, formerly known as Twitter, at BigFave504. And we want to thank Small Sliders for sliding us on through this segment. Remember, on y'all way home, make y'all way on the Small Sliders, Marrero, 1635 Barataria Boulevard. Let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches. I think it's the last few days for them shakes, baby. Let them know Big Face. And buy one of these shakes and get a slider. You'll be good, baby. And don't forget to text receiver for the LSU Tigers NFL draft. Did LSU Tiger join us here on Inside the Trenches, baby? Don't go anywhere. ESPN New Orleans.
Are you a student? Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite, and Inside the Trenches podcast is back, baby. We back. Y'all make sure y'all check us out for excellent season, and you can check us out on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Y'all make sure y'all follow me at BigFave504. We back at it, baby. We in them trenches. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now, I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. Watch out there now. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, Had some great sauce on them.
Win. I'm excited that the Tigers did get a team win against, in my opinion, a FCS team that is going to wreak havoc in the Southland Conference. But you know, we did win the game. Can't really complain. Not at all. At all. And y'all calling about that too, baby. Feel free to hit us up 800-998-1003. If you want to chime in on that too. The Saints won, LSU won. Tulane had a close one. They take on Oklahoma this upcoming weekend. They take on Oklahoma, number 15 Oklahoma. But they had a close one against K-State. I want to say Southern got a win. So across the state, we did pretty good. But me and my next guest, we Tigers, man. We'll be joined by my man Eddie Kennison. As soon as we can get him here on the line here soon, we're going to talk about his time at LSU. I also want to hear what his thoughts is on his team at LSU right now. He works close with these players and player development. Just a good guy, man. That's what we do at Tigers. We good people. We make it do what it do, baby. But I'm excited too. And I know a lot of you guys are excited, and at the same time, because football season is back. But if you're in a situation where you're not excited because you don't have a vehicle or transportation, feel free to hit my man Alberto up at 1512 North Causeway Boulevard, Montero Motors. I have $500 for you, right? $5 on it. I got $500 on your down payment on your next used vehicle. Make sure y'all hit up Montero Motors, baby. I'm telling you, that's real money too. That real news, babe. I got you covered. Like a blanket. Yes, I do. Definitely. Well, I think we have my main man, Eddie Kennison, on the line. Eddie, what's good, baby? Welcome to Inside the Trenches.
What's going on, big brother?
Man, all is well. Everything is going well. Y'all, we want to welcome Eddie Kennison on the show. Great LSU, great wide receiver. Played around the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs. Y'all be sure to holler at my man. So, E, let's go on and chime in the conversation, my brother. We did beat Nicholls State this past week, and a win has always been a win, so at least when we play football. And we went out to SC. We could have won that one. Just right now, where we're at in the season, your thoughts on this LSU team moving forward with the rest of the schedule?
Oh, sure. And Marlon, I appreciate you having me on. And, my thoughts on the entire team, but in particular the offense and defense. And for me, being an ex-player, and I did a little coaching in my day, when you have entire new defensive staff, first year, you have, the scheme that goes in, and then you have a cohesiveness that has to happen within the play of defense. Everyone looks good in practice, but when you get into that the live game speed, then you're able to go along and work alongside the guys and learn how they actually play and learn the scheme at game speed. And for me, I always give the first quarter of the season. So, the 3 games or 4 games in will really tell me how that defense or that offense is working. And the same thing goes for offense. We're a new quarterback, but he's not new. Nussmeier played last year in the bowl game, won the bowl game, but you have 2 co-offensive coordinators. So again, I show a little bit more grace than probably anybody because they have to learn, one, the entire offense from 2 guys that are potentially calling plays. I don't know who calls them or not. And then all of the offensive line, the quarterback, the receivers, everybody's kind of worked together at game speed. So, I look at it probably different than most people, and I give them more grace. For the most part, from game 1 to game 2, we look better. You can say, yeah, one is FC, one is Nicholls. I don't care. They're both college football teams. And yes, talent is a difference in Nicholls and USC, but they're both college teams. But I think LSU has absolutely gotten better from game 1 to game 2. And I think they will continue to get better as the season goes on.
If you're just tuning in, if y'all driving on in here, you're listening to ESPN New Orleans. I guess it's Eddie Kennison, LSU great. Eddie spent some time across the NFL, had a great career at LSU as well. Was a part of that fabric of LSU that really helped pave the way for guys like myself, Glenn Dorsey during my time frame, and even all the way up to guys like Joey B. So, let's kind of go back to your team, your time at LSU. Talking about some of your teammates, some of the memorable games in your career. Just kind of, I guess, give our listeners a background on your career at LSU and into the pros.
Yeah, man. I came in 1992 as a wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, freshman in 1992 under Curly Hallman, and we actually had the number 1 recruiting class in the nation that year. We had guys like Gabe Northern, we had Jamie Howard, we had myself, we had Torrey James, we had David LaFleur, and we had the top 5 running backs in 5 different states that year as well. James Gilliard on defense, and I can go on and on, and I'm still friends with those guys to this day. But I'll fast forward from 92 to 95 because the 92, 93, 94 seasons were really nothing. We were building, and when Curly got fired and Jared Donato came in, if you can remember, we called it bringing back the magic. Mm-hmm. And that was the year 1995 where we went to play Michigan State, a Nick Saban team in the Independence Bowl in 1995, and we ended up winning that game against Michigan State. And that was the first time LSU had won, a bowl game since I think it was 87 or 88. And if you go all the way back to the Independence Bowl in 1995, that catapulted LSU football, and I would even say LSU sports, to become champions and be who LSU is today from that time in 1995. And I think we've only missed maybe 2 or 3 bowl games since 1995. So that was truly bringing back the magic because LSU sports, they're all doing great in current time.
No doubt, and I appreciate those years too. I remember we had guys like Johnny Mitchell. He came in on that 95 class. Larry Foster from this area. Herb Tyler. He ended up Rayon Hill. A lot of those guys that came on after y'all. And, of course, you had, am I saying this right, a 14-year NFL career? 13?
Yeah, 13 years. I was drafted in 1996 by St. Louis Rams, and I ended my 13-year career, my last 8 seasons in Kansas City.
Man, some good times. Hey, did you really think Kansas City barbecue tastes better than that barbecue down in Baton Rouge and Lake Charles and Lafayette and all that? Because I spent a little time out there too. What's your thoughts on that barbecue out there in KC?
So KC so far is the barbecue capital of the world. You have everybody that say like Louisiana or Texas or Memphis. And it just depends on, where you're from and what you were raised on, you really and truly like. Now, I love Louisiana food. I love Louisiana barbecue. I love Kansas City barbecue. Mm-hmm. Now, there are a couple places I won't name that, I'm not very fond of the barbecue, but Kansas City barbecue is top-notch, brother. I would absolutely put it up there against anybody.
Hey, Eddie, I feel you on that one. That was a really, really nice, even answer right there. but which is true, though. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I like how they really take the time and smoke their meat out and season it really good out there. And we do a good job down here, too, but we known for just all our wonderful cuisines. I want to get into your time now at LSU. We've been chopping it up the last few years, obviously with me working with LSU Sports Radio, and now you are with LSU Sports Property. How has that been for you, man? You're back on your old stomping grounds, and you do an excellent job at hosting events and things of that. So how's your new role at LSU been going in over the past few years?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I actually came in as a director of player development for LSU football when Ed Orgeron was head coach. And when Brian came in, they asked me to move into the sports properties aspect of things. So I kind of get in to work with all sports LSU, and it's basically, dealing with corporate sponsorships and partnerships and marketing through LSU athletics. And we were just approved at the beginning of this year where we can help facilitate NIL deals for our student athletes through sports properties. Obviously, still we have our Bayou Traditions, the collective, TAF, all of these entities that help drive dollars into NIL. And it's been fun, man. I get to go out and I get to sell LSU, and then I get to wine and dine our current and future partners that will partner with LSU, and go out and wine and dine it and get to know who these people really are and get to understand what their business is to help drive that business into LSU to help our young athletes. And Marlon, when I tell you it's been absolutely fun, brother, it's been absolutely fun.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine it. And I remember last year, this had been last year, the year before last, we had went out, had the event at Log Cook for some of the former players when we got on stage and we talked about our time. Even that type of camaraderie to the sponsors out in the area is cool, because you come in, you have a nice meal, and you get to hear good stories. So, I mean, I know those are big time. So, man, when we get one of them nice events where they feed us that good food again?
Well, I've been talking with the Alumni Center, to host them again. Unfortunately, I haven't heard anything back from them. So, maybe I need to make some more phone calls or do something, or just do something on the side, that will help bring all of us together again. But I tell you what, I have my podcast. It's called Go To Legends, and it's streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. And, I bring in legends such as yourself and other legends, and we talk shop, kind of how we did, for the football Fridays is what we call them. I just don't have the big meals and everybody in there, but I can bring you a meal anytime you want.
There you go. No, look, man, I would love to come on there, man. For that, it really won't even be about the meal, man. It's just about sharing great stories with the legends such as yourself. And I want to talk a little bit more about your pod, Go To Legends, because when you look back at just the entire time frame between 1992 and my last year at LSU was 2008, and just the transition of the campus and the different stories and the big games. I mean, we all share those deals, and man, it's great you're doing that. That is huge. Y'all be sure to go to YouTube and check out Go To Legends podcast. Some good episodes. I'm actually on there right now. He welcomed on a lot of folks. I see my man looked like he had a conversation with my man Jock Talk as well. And I mean, look, these one thing that's true, Eddie, these LSU stories, they never get old, huh? They don't. They just don't.
They never get old, brother. And we just launched a big deal in Tiger Stadium this past weekend that simply said that it never gets old. And
wow.
It should never get old, because we have we have too many wonderful athletes that have passed through LSU in all sports. And everyone's story to get to LSU is different, and that's what makes it so unique. And that's what the Go To Legends podcast is all about, is where our young athletes started, from 7, 8 years old, and then their journey to ultimately play through high school, and the recruiting process, how they got to LSU, man, and what they did here, and what they did when they left LSU. Was it the Olympics? Was it the NFL, MLB, et cetera, and what they're doing now, man, and talk about their families, and it just come full circle, bro. But there's so many wonderful stories that are untapped that I'm trying to reach and get those stories out.
Well, I look forward for coming on there to come on and tell some of our stories. I'm telling you right now, make sure, even for your listeners, make sure that they use the bathroom before they listen, because I ain't gonna lie, my time frame is funny. Whoa, we have some funny stories. So I look forward to share those funny stories, man. I can imagine, because see, listen, y'all, see my man Eddie come up in the trap, man. You know, back then them boys was standing in Broussard. You know, they had like old school army bunkers, and you know. Now I will say this: I did catch a little bit of the bus rides. We had to take the ride from the stadium to the practice field, so that was the only little piece of that old school I had, man. But hey, look what it did, man! A 13-year career in the NFL, and you know, I know you have a great family, and man, you're back at like myself. We back at our own stomping grounds, doing things that we love. So, man, before I let you go today, I know my folks, they can follow you at Eddie Kennison. At Eddie Kennison the third on X, and then you can also check him out at the Go To Legends Pod. When's y'all's next episode?
Yeah, so the next episode it just dropped last month. It was Jesse Daigle, one of my old quarterbacks, man. And the next podcast I drop one a month. It's the last Thursday of every month, and we have one that will drop this coming month, and it's Katie Guillory, who's an ex softball player, a phenomenal softball player, and now she's training our gymnastics women and our beach volleyball women, who are national champions in their own right, and now she's coaching those women up and training those women. So it's a beautiful podcast, and I think everyone will enjoy it.
Man, well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for coming on, E. We got to get you back on. When y'all drop that episode, we got to hear all about it. He's Eddie Kennison the third, man. LSU great. Played at LSU wide receiver, bounced around the NFL, and we back on our stomping grounds. He's there working with LSU's properties, and be sure to check out Go To Legends podcast on YouTube, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show, brother.
Marlon, I appreciate it, brother, and I'm on anytime you want me on and anytime you need me on.
Man, I appreciate that. Well, we got to get you back on. Hey, y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be back, man. We got to talk high school football and all those bells and whistles around it. It's Inside the Trenches here on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite, and Inside the Trenches podcast is back, baby. We back. Y'all make sure y'all check us out for an excellent season, and you can check us out on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Y'all make sure y'all follow me at BigFave504. We back at it, baby. We in them trenches.
Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now, I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. Watch out there now. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders,
1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my small sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Big Favorite.
Pod. Man, Jared, brother, thank you so much for being on hold the last segment, and welcome to Inside the Trenches.
And thank you, my friend. I'm glad to be on this show joining you.
Most definitely, most definitely. Well, I want to take these last 30 minutes, and thank you for joining us for the 12. I got Josh here. He's going to give me his spiel. He went to Baton Rouge this weekend, checked out some games. He went over to the Superdome to check out the Curtis game. But I know for a fact where you were with a poncho on. You, VK, was on the sideline at that Shaw and Carr game. Could you please give me your recap?
Well, mainly there's one team that's more superior than the other, and there's one team that's trying to get to the level of Edna Carr. Shaw pretty much was just outmanned at every position against Edna Carr. O-line, D-line, wide receiver, quarterback, running back, defensive back, you name it. Just wasn't able to be in a competitive ball game long enough with Edna Carr. But I will say this. Shaw never gave up. He kept fighting. I do kind of feel that the punt return touchdown at the end of the first half pretty much took away any momentum that Shaw might have went into halftime with. Because there was only 28 seconds left in the second half. Shaw was down by 5, and they kicked the ball. They punched the ball to Tyron Francis, and he runs it back for a touchdown. I think any momentum was got down for Archbishop Shaw. But like I said, Shaw has talent, but the talent gap between Archbishop Shaw and Edna Carr is not even comparable. It is a big gap, and Edna Carr is that much superior than Archbishop Shaw. All
right, well, let me ask you this, all right? And we know the numbers too, right? I think Shaw has some really good players in certain areas, but they just don't have the depth like a Edna Carr. But they have speed and size in certain areas. I know we have a couple of players at Concord that we train. Michael Banks, defensive tackle. Mike's about 255. He can hold point. We also have Caden as well. Caden Johnson, offensive lineman, younger guy, holding his point. And this is a Shaw team. Josh, man, I don't know if you were on the sideline with me and Jared at the Shaw and St. All game, but I mean, Jared, that game alone had to go against Jakeem Stewart, a.k.a. Thanos, was a big test going down the line when you start to play bell chasing teams in your district going against top tier defensive tackles, huh?
Yo, without a doubt. I mean, that's the best defensive tackle I've seen in years in the state of Louisiana and Jakeem Stewart. And, going against tough competition as an Archbishop Shaw, taking on tougher competition, it's only going to make you better down the road. So, like I told people, I had no problem with them facing it in the car. They can only get better as the season progresses.
No doubt. If y'all are just tuning in to Inside the Trenches here on ESPN New Orleans, you're listening to my man Jared Boyd from the Hash It Out Show. Y'all be sure to check out the Hash It Out Show. They are basically a show that focuses on high school football in Louisiana. Jared said he'll join us on here more frequently to give us his updates. They do their YouTube show weekly on Tuesdays. Be sure to check them out on Tuesday nights. And I'll be sure to get with Tarek and get this information under this show. Jared, let's talk about Archbishop Shaw moving forward. The rest of the schedules, you have teams like Bell Chase coming up on the schedule. I know that's not the next game, but just a look at this team moving forward. They could still possibly have a straight track to the state championship.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I think Shaw will be fine in the long run. I still have Shaw getting to the state championship game in Division II Select. But like we said, the schedule is not easy. It's not easy. It's a tough schedule, but you still have Lafayette Christian. You still have Archbishop Rummel. You have Walker. They have Walker for their homecoming. And, of course, you got Bell Chase and St. Charles Catholic to close out the regular season. Shaw will be fine. Coach Hank Tierney and the staff will fix the necessary things they have to fix. And I still see Shaw getting to the Dome this season. They will be fine.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you look at teams like Lafayette Christian Academy. They're going to play, they're going to have games that's going to challenge them. It's going to be a big-time game against Rummel. We know how that game was last year. But, I mean, you do have a Shaw team that has so much potential. I mean, I would be remiss, Jared, if I didn't talk about our high school years at Archbishop Shaw, playing for Coach Hank Tierney on that staff and just being at that school at those years. Talk about some classic games, man, to see. And I know you and VK on the sidelines just about all the Shaw games, but to see Coach Hank still out there coaching his tail off, coming with that same energy almost, 20-plus years later, it has to be nothing next than remarkable out there.
It's more than remarkable, man. Talking to Coach Hank when he first came back, man, he says like he has a new spirit to coach since being back at Archbishop Shaw. He told me he never wanted to leave Archbishop Shaw. He said when he was driving to West Jeff, when he was coaching at West Jeff, he had to pass up Archbishop Shaw. He said that hurt his feelings every day when he had to pass up Archbishop Shaw because that was the place he wanted to be at. So to be back home, he's very happy, and things have just changed since he came back. I mean, the alumni came back, man. It's just the atmosphere at Archbishop Shaw is so up now since he's been back, and you got people wanting to come to Shaw to play football just because he's back. It's just how can I put it, like an uplifting experience, man, from seeing where Shaw went to once he left, and now where Shaw is since he came back.
Yeah, and even the crowd fund, man, like the amount of people that come to the home games just to see, because one thing, you're going to see some players that's out there getting good coaching, and you're going to see a good product. And I mean, we look at a team like Endicott. I mean, this team should walk to the Dome and win by 50 at the way that they play. When you look at this Class 4A, though, you do have Archbishop Shaw that's to the top of the pack of that group, but you have teams like Opelousas, like St. Charles Catholic, Lusher. Looking at Shaw in a playoff, we're going to look down the future. Looking at Shaw in a playoff scenario, St. Thomas More, out of these teams that are in the top 10 of 4A schools, who do you think pose the biggest threat to Shaw moving forward?
The team that poses the biggest threat to Shaw moving forward in Division II Select, I would say right now, more than anything, probably the team in their district, St. Charles Catholic, man. Coach Wayne Stein does a great job with his team. I call Coach Wayne Stein the greatest halftime adjuster in high school football in Louisiana because I've seen Coach Stein be down in so many games and then come back and win a game all the time. So I would say it's St. Charles Catholic. In my opinion, I also would say University out of Baton Rouge. They can be one of those teams. I also would say John F. Kennedy. Coach Nurse Elfage has done a phenomenal job with that program, turning it around, almost beating Shaw in the quarterfinals last year in the playoffs. So he brought back a lot of players this season. So I was Hello?
Yeah, we here.
Okay, gotcha.
I got you. No, you were talking about University High, and you were about to mention another team.
Yes, John F. Kennedy.
Yes.
Right out of New Orleans. Coach Nurse Elfage has done a great job turning that program around, and he's got those guys up and running, man. It's a good football program over there, John F. Kennedy. Those are my three teams, but number one is St. Charles Catholic.
No doubt. Jared, before we let you go, man, I want to talk about the Hash It Out show. I know I mentioned you guys come on Tuesday. Sir. What could our listeners expect when they go check you guys out on YouTube, y'all's Hash It Out pod?
So we're on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 7:30. You can go watch the Hash It Out show on my YouTube page at JB, as J as in jar and B as in boy, JB the Sports Guy. So type that in the search bar on YouTube, and everything will pop up. So we're live at 7:30 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. You can't catch it live. You can always go to my page, JB the Sports Guy, and catch the replay.
No doubt, no doubt. And man, this weekend, Shaw takes on West Jeff. That's me and Coach Hank, two old schools, so that should be something pretty good. So I want to say that game's going to be at Shaw, so that should be cool. West Jeff coming on over there, that'll be a good deal. Man, Jared, I look forward to having you come back on maybe next week, recap that one, and talk some more about y'all shows. Hey, y'all, this is Jared Boyd. Y'all make sure y'all check them out, the Hash It Out show, high school football, exclusive high school football, right here in one of the greatest states that we do it in Louisiana. So y'all be sure to check them out, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show, bro.
Oh, thank you, man. I'll be with you again next Monday.
Hello, somebody. Hey, y'all don't go anywhere. We got one more segment. I'm joined by my man, Josh Williams. We're going to get into some more high school football local. Josh got to give me the recap of his weekend, and then we'll also look ahead to some big-time games this week. It's Inside the Trenches, baby, right here on ESPN New Orleans. New Orleans, 100.3 FM. Watch out there now.
Maritime State.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite, and Inside the Trenches podcast is back, baby. We back. Y'all make sure y'all check us out for excellent season, and you can check us out on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Y'all make sure y'all follow me at BigFave504. We back at it, baby. We in them trenches. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
And check this out. I want all y'all to be safe traveling home and everything. I want everybody to, pay attention the next couple of days. The weather's going to get a little frightful out. But once all that's over and done, you might need some repairs to your home. You might want a new home, reconstruct your home, or sell it, rent it out. That's Godwyn Realty. My man Joe over at Godwyn Realty. Joe Picolo. Y'all hit him up, Joe at Godwyn Realty. Want to sell your house? You want to be a first-time home buyer? You want to flip your house? Whatever the case may be, my main man Joe got you. Well, Josh, man, you had a pretty eventful weekend. The Curtis game, because of the weather, got moved to the Dome. I wasn't able to make it. I mean, I went on Twitter, I saw some things. So recap, what you saw there, man? How everything went with the Curtis matchup?
Well, to be honest, the Curtis matchup was really a pretty bad matchup with them. You know, they just getting their feet wet first game, you know, the first serious game of the season, even though they played scrimmages and jamborees. But going up against Rebound, that's a different team, man. That's a different team from out of state. And they came in there, they came with a mission with a game plan. First half was kind of what and what. It was a really close battle. You thought that, you know, hey, John Curtis can actually match up with these guys. These guys matched up with John Curtis. We've been knowing Curtis for years, as Curtis will always play a dominant game. They will always control the run. They will always control the pace of the game. But they really got away from the run that much. In that game, they went more towards 50% more to the passing, and it killed them in the end. So they couldn't really get away with the victory, as Rebound beat them 27-12. It was a really good atmosphere in the Dome, though.
So I mean, I guess Curtis got away from themselves. They're usually a running team. I was just blown and was in awe last year when they beat Carr. I'm like, nah, they definitely not about to beat this Carr team. They too strong, and they beat Carr pretty bad last year. That, you know, last game going into the playoffs. But just looking at the score of this game, 27-12, that's one of those scenarios where you have a team that defensively they held the team under 30 points, but it just seemed like they couldn't get nothing going. And you talk about production in games such being able to run the plays and do what really works for you and what have worked for you over the years. And I didn't expect Curtis to lose this opener. Their schedule, we know that their district, they're going to see Rumble, they're going to see St. Aug, they're going to see Carr. So things won't get any easier for John Curtis.
Oh, no, most definitely. It's really going to be a really tough road on their way back to the Dome. As of Carr showed up, played a great game against Archbishop Shaw. That was a dominant game. They came to play. Shaw couldn't even pass the ball against them. But Curtis in this game, they really, like I said, they got away from their bread and butter. And if you look at the numbers from the quarterback and their running back, quarterback Reggie Johnson, 6 or 7 completions, 60 yards. They really try to go to the air as much, but it was a lot of incomplete passes. They switched from both quarterbacks, try to go with the RPO, try to go with the run first, then pass, and then they switched it up, went from pass to pass, then run. Against a team that's out of state, that's sitting at now 3-1, they're going to dominate that game. They're going to see, like, okay, we don't know much about the team John Curtis. All we know is about years before. So we come in and try to take away their motion of the game, then we could come away with a victory. So I think Curtis, this was a wake-up call for them. Mm-hmm. This was a wake-up call. So now we're going to see the John Curtis that we all know and love for against Rummel, Jesuit. It's going to be a really good season this year for high school football, especially for John Curtis.
If y'all just tuning in to Inside the Trench, this is your host, Small and Big Faith. Right, joining me is my man Josh Williams. Y'all can check Josh out every week, giving us the high school. He may call in sometime. I know he's a busy man, but he wanted to come in the studio because he did go to a couple games this weekend. And I'm like, man, Josh, you got to come through. We talked about this the entire summer and give us some of your recaps. Just to go over some of the other games this past weekend. Jesuit lost, surprisingly, number 20 Jesuit lost to Dallas Jesuit 28-20. We have a player that plays with that team, Zion Farstar with Conquer Sports. Coach Ryan Manali, I coached with Coach Ryan 2 years. We followed the team for a while. My son played for Coach Ryan. Josh, I think he's going to eventually shape things up better now than later in terms of loss, getting it out the way. Higgins lost to South Platte 35-8. Higgins is a team that's a friend of the show that came on this summer. Eventually you expect them to get it going. New coach, Coach Powell, along with Coach Sean Burris and a few more coaches on their staff that in my opinion, a young team. They had some guys on there that was committed and trying to get things going. Do a couple of more follow up on some scores. We talked about Edna Carr Shaw 48-21. That entire matchup. Riverdale take on PTSDTA 34-13 was that one. Walker beats Ponchatoula 43-14. That was wild. Josh, I want to look ahead here to this upcoming week. One more game. I'm sorry. St. Aug did beat McDonald 49-7. That St. Aug team had a lot going on, right? Still had a real good defensive line. But, of course, you know, with all of the news with Jakeem Stewart reclassifying or whatever that situation is going to be. But just kind of looking forward to some games here. Let's see, we got a Friday. Warren Easton Kennedy should be a really good matchup. John Curtis takes on North Shore this weekend. Jesuit Edie White. That should be a pretty decent matchup this upcoming weekend. And y'all feel free to call in 800-998-1003. Let us know what are some good games you think going to pop off. Now, the number one Edna Carr does take on Opelousas. Josh, to get your opinion on that game, you got Brother Martin taking on St. Paul's. I'm assuming Edna Carr wins this game, but, I mean, this Opelousas team could play an exceptional game.
Oh, definitely. That Opelousas always have been a thorn in a lot of teams' side, especially playing in their class. So Opelousas, this game here, it could go either way. It could go real close, real tight, real fast. And Edna Carr has learned now for the past 2 years that they have not won state, that they have to now immediately start on a fast pace because teams have now seen since the COVID year of how Coach Bruce is, how his offense is, they like to control the piece of the game. So now a lot of teams are like, okay, let's start fast and then let's try to give them the ball and see if we can put a stop to that. As long as they apply pressure to the quarterback, to Edna Carr quarterback, their quarterbacks are not destined to handle the pressure. Once he sits so far into the pocket, at least 3 seconds, they're going to take off running. You give them the leeway, they're going to take off running. So if you get the pressure on the quarterback, you could throw the whole system off.
Another game I think is going to be a pretty good matchup is St. Aug East St. John. St. Aug now 1-0, East St. John 0-1. River Parish schools typically play some pretty decent ball. You think back to East St. John in past years, guys like Ryan Perilou, a couple of my teammates, Ricky Dixon, the team, Kirsten Pittman, they've had some ballers come out. You talk about the Warren Easton Kennedy game. Coach L. Page was not only an excellent scholar player in high school, but he has turned this Kennedy program around along with Carver. So that should be a really cool matchup. Just looking around, too, we talked about University Lab on our last segment, talking with Jared Boyd. Lab has a big game against Rummel, number 6 Rummel. Both teams going in 1-0. When you look at this Archbishop Rummel team, who has been coached exceptionally well, has some good players. You look at LSU, Ashton Stamps, Christian Stamps, those guys. And University Lab, I've worked close with that school 2017, 2018, and all the way into 2020 with some players. Even now, we have a deep snapper, deep tackle, Andreas Reyes there. So that University Lab team is playoff tested, and Rummel is too. That should be a good matchup.
Oh, yeah, very close eye on that one. That is actually on my radar in a second. But that Rummel and University Lab, that is basically a well-balanced game. Solid defense. Rummel has to step it up a bit. The way they played in the Dome last Friday, they have to step it up a bit. Their front line got to get pressure on the quarterback. Once you get to the quarterback, you got to execute. You have to execute to get the quarterback on the ground to disrupt the pass, because University Lab will run it down your throat, but they will also pass it. So it sneaks up on you. But once you plug up the holes and you get that front line get together, you can win this game, man. This is a winnable game for Rummel, and for them to start 2-0.
Oh, snap, man. Well, Rummel looks like they're still a Catholic League powerhouse. Josh, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Let's hear a few more out the trenches We appreciate you. And listen, man, we want to thank all of y'all for tuning into the show. And remember, if you want to be a friend of the show, you want to tune in and put some subjects in, you can hit us up on X at BigFave504 or go to our ESPN Twitter as well at ESPN NOLA on X. We'd love to hear from you, get some content for you, so on and so forth. We want to thank all our guests for coming on the show. We greatly appreciate Locked On Saints writer, beat writer, along with LouisianaSports.net, Ross Jackson. Y'all follow him at Ross Jackson NOLA. Ross does an excellent job with the Saints content. Big win for the Saints. We look forward to that game against the Dallas Cowboys. We also want to thank Eddie Kennison, LSU wide receiver, great from back in the day. Played 13 years in the NFL. Now back at LSU was a player development guy for a while. Now is with LSU's properties. Good guy, and shouts out to my guys giving us a little high school. Y'all been hearing about the Saints winning all day, LSU playing Nickel State tight, and all of that stuff. I wanted to really dive into some of these high school games. Some teams in our area that's some of the top teams in the country, definitely in the state as well. So shouts out to my man Jared Boyd over from Hatch It Out Pod, and Josh Williams with his observation. Man, Josh, he'll be going out to a couple of games throughout the season and giving us his recaps, his thoughts on a lot of those games. Shouts out to all of our sponsors, Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway Boulevard. Go over there. Say I got $500 from Big Fave. The Marlon money is in my stores. Y'all can screenshot it and take it over there, and he will honor that and put $500 on your new car. $5,000, you have to get you a Lambo or something. But definitely shouts out to him, Joe Picolo, Godwyn Realty. Shouts out to the whole crew over here at New Orleans Talk Network. My man Josh Williams sitting here with me, man. We'll be back. Small slide shouts out to them. Marrero. We'll be back same time, same place. ESPN New Orleans is inside the trenches, baby.
Southern Gun and Knife Show is coming for 2 big days only this weekend at the Pontchartrain Center on Williams Boulevard. Show hours